I picked a song for you, bro. I felt it was your vibe.
Is this the one else? I thought it'd be Malo or Santana, but this is good.
What's up, people? Annabelle here. You are watching Dreams to Reality Podcast. This is episode 44. We are in the lovely city of Pasadena, California, and I'm really excited for today's guest. Our guest is a producer with 15 years experience in the entertainment industry. He's also a former pastor, and he is the founder of Chicano Hollywood, which is our sponsor for today's show. Make sure you guys click the link to download their streaming app. Please help me welcome Johnny Murillo.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Look at this awesome crowd we have. All that applause.
Did I say your last name correct?
Murillo, yeah.
Murillo?
Yeah.
Some people say Murillo.
Murillo, depends on who I'm talking to.
Yeah,
you know,
Like
so,
my name is Aníbal.
In
Spanish,
yeah.
But everybody calls me Annabelle.
Annabelle, yeah.
Because, you can't pronounce Aníbal. A lot of people can't pronounce Aníbal.
Yeah, that's how I am. If I look at him, it's like, okay, Murillo. Or if it's a homie, what's up, Murillo, bro?
Murillo, eh?
Yeah. So it's just like...
You even give him the little nod?
Yeah,
Have you seen that skit with Key and Peele when he's playing Barack Obama?
Yeah, dude.
He's like, my brother.
All these white people like me. Yeah.
Sir?
I love that one, dude.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Yeah, where are you from, by the way? Because you got like the colored eyes.
Oh, so originally...
You got the colored eyes, the little salt and pepper.
Zacatecas, bro.
Zacatecas? There you go.
My dad's side, so I was born and raised in San Jose. So I'm born here, but so I'm Chicano big time.
There we go.
My mom and that side's from Mexicali, from Baja.
Okay.
And my grandpa from my mom's side from León, Guanajuato. But on my dad's side, they're from Zacatecas.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know anything about them. You know, my dad, my real biological father, his mom was La Otra.
La Otra.
You know what La Otra
You know
is?
what's hilarious? That's exactly what my grandmother was.
Really? Yeah.
All of my cousins called her La Otra because she was the other grandmother.
Yeah, dude. So my nana was La Otra from my grandfather.
Yeah.
He had his wife and his kids.
Yeah.
So I didn't know them, right?
Yeah.
These are stories I hear. And so then whatever happened there, once she had my dad, she said I'm out because I guess he was powerful. They said he was powerful. He had a lot of money.
Your dad?
My grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They were Ottos. So his name was Juan Otto.
Otto?
And they're
How does that spelled?
I think it's Haro.
Otto. Oh, okay.
Otto,
Yeah, that's a Spanish.
Yeah. Spanish German. I heard it was like that too, but I don't know. But
it could be, yeah.
They're all from Zacatecas, so I didn't know any of them. But my grandmother, she had my dad, and then she didn't give him the Otto last name. She gave him a different last name. It's not even the one I have. She gave him Mendivil. So that's her maiden name. So the story's all whack.
Yeah.
As you follow it now, I was born Mendivil, but then right around second grade, I don't know, something like that. My mom just said, my stepdad was in the picture now.
Yeah.
And we had my little brother, and then my two sisters came from him.
Yeah.
And so she's like, hey, me and my older brother, do you guys want to be Murillo? And we're like, yeah, sure.
Why not?
Yeah. So she didn't do nothing legal. All she did was the next year for school, she just changed their names.
Really?
That's it. That's
so
all
your birth certificate is not Murillo?
Mendivil.
Oh, that's crazy.
Mendivil,
but you just went by it. You're like,
I just went by Murillo. So
now it's your entertainment name, bro.
Yeah. Johnny Murillo.
You should just change it just to Murillo, like Cher.
I should. Like if I ever write anything super controversial, Actually, I'm giving it away now.
It's gonna be
it was gonna be Mendivil. So
there you go.
If you see something super controversial, it's Mendivil. That's me. So
that's funny, man.
Yeah, so I'm Murillo. That's my marriage certificate, license, driver license, everything just Murillo. Passport. Awesome, I don't know how. Post 9/11 never would have got through. But, pre 9/11,
you're good.
Yeah.
It's funny because like people don't understand. Like in Mexico, there's like pockets of like different cultures and stuff like that. Like my family's from Chihuahua.
Oh yeah.
And my dad has like blue eyes. Actually, they're green. They change colors and stuff, and they look white. And there's like a pocket in Chihuahua where there's like nothing but blonde, white-haired people.
Yeah, dude, and like Monterrey too. I think Monterrey has like
there's Taiwanese. There's like straight up. They just look Chinese, They speak nothing but Spanish, straight paisa.
Well, Mexicali, there's a lot of Chinese in Mexicali. They have like the best Chinese food. And I remember when I was there as a kid, we went to get Chinese food. I'm with my grandmother, and we were there, and then Chinese dude shows up, right? And I'm like expecting him to be like broken Spanish.
Yeah.
And he's like, in Espanol. I'm like, what the heck? You know? So it's, and in Tijuana right now, just right here in Tijuana, a lot of Haitians.
Really?
When all that stuff happened in Haiti.
Oh, they came out? They came out. They couldn't go to the U.S. No, let's go to Mexico.
So they go to Mexico.
There you go.
But in Tijuana, they have a huge population. And you see them on the street selling. You see.
I'm really curious to find out the food, the blend. You know? Because we live here in California, where there's fusion food. You know, it's everywhere. You go to Koreatown, you go to this town, you go to Burbank, and everywhere has like a fusion. It's like
Escala in Koreatown.
Escala.
Go to Escala.
What is that?
It's half Colombian, half Korean.
Oh my God!
And it's crazy because OG Chino, right? His parents were ambassadors from South Korea to Colombia.
Oh, no way.
So as a baby.
Oh, you know what? I just saw a commercial for them. Don't they do like tacos on the little grill and stuff like that?
Yeah, they do. So they do. Yeah. So they went to, he was raised in Colombia as a kid. Yeah. And so his story is awesome. You should have him on because he's a DJ. He's big in the hip hop scene, right? The OG hip hop scene. Yeah. So he was raised in Colombia. When they finally got done with their ambassador stuff, they came to L.A. Yeah. They went to Koreatown. So there he is. His only language he knew was Spanish. He didn't even know Korean that well.
Oh, my God.
So they put him in the ESL classes.
Yeah.
And in the ESL classes, right? Yeah. So who's he with? He's with all the Mexicans. Yeah. So he basically says, I was with all the Mexicans. I'm the only one that, knew Spanish. I'm talking to them. So I hung out with all the cholos. Yeah. So he was raised like a cholo. Yeah. And, then he got into the hip-hop scene. He's
like the Asian version of Miklo.
Totally, dude. Oh, he's hilarious, man. And he still goes to Colombia. He still considers that his primary home, right? Yeah. But back in the 80s, when he was doing all that, 80s, 90s, he got, especially in the 90s, he was there during the riots and all that stuff, right? He became the guy that when all these people from the East Coast, when they were going to come and do a concert over here, he was the main plug. So they would tell everybody, all the big names, go to L.A., go see OG Chino. Yeah. And so he has a really cool reputation in his restaurant.
I've heard his name. I'm pretty sure I've seen him before. But I don't know his story, so I'm curious. I'll reach out to him.
Oh, you should. It's a fun story. We interview him for different
But guess
things.
what, brother? Today we're sharing your story.
Hey, we are. OG Chino.
I do want to, first off, shout out to OG Chino. I'll be hitting you up, brother. But I do want to thank you, for taking the time today to come out on the show and share your story and your insight in the entertainment industry. But just talking to you before we hit record on these cameras, there's a lot more to you than just an entertainer and a producer. I had no idea that you used to be a pastor. Yes. And that's a huge we're talking about how you were in Vegas and you're like, I went from being in, the church to now I'm like in Vegas at the club. It's like completely different worlds, Man, yeah. But I'm sure you took a lot of the wisdom from being a pastor and leading people to now you're still leading people, but it's in a different field.
Yeah, still pastoring. I feel like I'm still pastoring.
That's awesome, man. So let's dive deep into it, what was the catalyst to get you to transition from, your fellowship into...
From pulpit to production?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
The big catalyst was probably failure,
Failure?
Yeah.
That's usually the catalyst to everything, brother.
Man. So what happened, the biggest thing, I was, it was the Lord that's really, when he gives you purpose, he's gonna, and whenever a person says, okay, God, whatever your will is, oh, man, that's the worst prayer you could do. It's the best prayer. It's also the worst one, right?
Yeah, so you're about to get challenged.
Yeah, oh, my God. So I've always leaned that way, right? Yeah. And I didn't know ultimately the Lord was going to have us in Hollywood.
Really? Did you grow up here?
No, I'm from San Jose.
San Jose. That's right. You did say that. Yeah. But you've been in California, but you were up north.
Yeah, all my life. Life. Born and raised here. So, I was raised typical story, right? Same barrio life, gangs, all that. My stepdad, he was a lowrider. He was caught up in the bigger picture of they used to call them, they call them cartels now, but up north, if you know who the Northerners are, right? So he was caught up hard.
He was a norteño.
Yeah. Okay. Even the way he was more in the familia side over there, right?
Okay,
so there's bodies. It was funny. I was in San Jose last weekend. Yeah. And the guy I was with, Andrew from One Culture, we're right there pulling up to his art gallery, really nice art gallery. And he says, hey, what body were you from? Were you from Horseshoe? I said, no, I'm from Libre. And there was some veteranos right there. Yeah. We're from Horseshoe. I'm like, oh shit. Hi.
He shows you his knife and stuff?
Yeah, Yeah, dude, it was Cinco de Mayo. So they're all over the place.
Yeah.
That was the cruising times. I'm, oh, hey, what's up?
You're like, come down, veterano.
Yeah, but I was like, but dude, I'm like, hey, my stepdad started you guys in the late 60s, early 70s. My stepdad started Horseshoe.
Oh, wow.
So, but we lived in Libre.
So he's a real OG.
Oh, yeah, no, this is terrible. Yeah. And he did time. Now, they took him out, right? So they took him out. Everything changed. You know, when I was like in 5th grade, they took him out, right? They had a contract on him. So now
they killed him?
They killed him, yeah.
Your father?
My stepdad.
Oh, your stepdad.
My real dad was a wino, bro. You know, they call him homeless and unhoused.
Oh, okay. You call him a wino?
He's a wino, bro. He's a wino. He died too. He actually got run over by a train.
No freaking way, dude.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I know, too. He survived, though. Lost a leg, but he survived.
No way.
Eventually, he did die.
So that's like the real OG winos where they have the little stick walking on the railroad, you know?
Oh, yeah, dude.
You got hit by the railroad?
Hobo vibe, yeah.
Dang,
yeah.
that's crazy.
And he died like in a halfway house. Dang. If you're from San Jose, right across the street from East Ridge Mall, you know, so
that's crazy. I actually have a homie from San Jose. Quick shout out to Arash DeBazar from IMC Nation over in San Jose, California.
What up, Arash DeBazar?
Yeah, he's a cool cat.
Yeah, no. So I had the same background, single mom, 5 kids, the same.
Dang.
You know, challenges. But my older brother was a cholo. You know, he was a good one, right? My younger brother's a really good one. He became a lifer, right? He was a lifer in prison.
Where's he at?
He's out now. He's been out for
no way.
7 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's freaking doing amazing. He has this fat
good.
house in Fontana and all that. He's freaking doing well.
That's awesome.
But I was in the middle, and you know, I tell people I was a cholo, but I wasn't a very good one. You know, it wasn't my thing. You know, but I did it though. I had a lowrider. I had my '53 Chevy pickup ride. That was my first truck. I bought it for $400. You know, we pimped
You had the outfit and everything.
Yeah, we cruise storing king. Yeah, I sucked at it too. I didn't look good. Like there's some dudes that look good.
You got to show me some pictures of you.
Oh my gosh, I tried.
You know,
bro.
you're like kneeling down next to your lowrider.
Oh my god, yeah, and it's funny too because
with the bandana.
Yeah, I had it all, and then honestly, there was back in the '80s, right? You go blows and all that. I had to get in there and help out. But I remember this particular when I was just during school, they were tatting each other up, right? And I'm like a
little homemade tattoo.
I'm afraid of needles,
Oh
dude.
my god,
that Indian
you are a bad gangster, bro.
Oh my gosh! And then there was one time that they're all doing that, and I'm sneaking off to drama class.
Oh, that's funny.
So I'm like, I was that kid. So I sneak off in the drama class, and it was a white school back then. They did the busing thing. So
I remember that.
They should have kept us together because we lost half our friends because they split us up.
Yeah.
But we went into this white school area called Willow Glen.
Yeah.
And so there's like freaking 1,500 white kids, and then like 200 of us.
Yeah.
So, dude, that's where that's the first time I felt racism. Like I was in a Mexican school called Washington Elementary.
Yeah.
Everybody was paisa. And then I go to Markham Junior High, and that's the first time I heard the word spick.
Yeah.
I never knew what that meant.
You didn't know what that meant,
Oh, some stoners came, threw me against the wall, and said spick. I'm like, spick, you know?
Like, what is that?
Yeah, man, 7th grade now, I'm getting jumped by stoners, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was life. So then it evolves.
It's interesting you say that. I want to bring up a topic that I've talked about on another show, which is, you know, typically when you grow up in a certain area, and let's say it's the hood, you know, you're surrounded by poverty, by crime, by drugs, by gangs, and your whole life, that's all you know. You know, like you said, your older brother was a lifer, you know, your stepdad got killed, you know, your dad was a wino. So your whole life, your paradigms, what you see and what you experience in your life, your senses, all you see, you smell, you touch, you feel is that world. And the problem is that most people end up doing a self-fulfilling prophecy, repeating the same pattern. They become a wino, they become a gangster, because that's all they have around them. You know, so being exposed to a different way of living is a blessing sometimes, even if you don't think about it. So like if they put you in a neighborhood where now, like before, I thought everybody was poor.
Yeah, dude, yeah. And then we didn't know we were poor.
Yeah, until you go somewhere like, holy shit, I'm poor. Like, this one has all this. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So it's a different experience. And yeah, I can see how it's like overwhelming sometimes. And it could lead to, because people are scared of what they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're 200 Mexicans and 1,500 whites, are like, who the hell are these people?
Oh, big time, dude.
I'm pretty sure you got in some fights.
Yeah.
No?
Oh, we did, dude. We had to. You know, especially I was always against the stoners and once in a while against the jocks.
Yeah.
But the stoners, it was the territory. We wanted the bleachers.
Yeah.
They've always had the bleachers. Now we're here, you know. Yeah. So it's like, no, we're going to take the bleachers.
What year was this?
This is all in 1979, 80, 81.
Yeah, it's I can't remember what show it was, but I was watching, it was also like a Veterano OG talking about, how gangs and stuff have evolved over the years. And he said in the 70s, 60s and 70s, there were gangs, but all they did was fist fight and maybe a knife.
Maybe a knife, yeah.
You know, he said once like the heavy drugs started coming in and it was more about just like making money, it was all guns.
I'll tell you, the transition was, so Boulevard Nights came out, right? Great iconic movie, Danny De La Paz and some of the others. So I mean, I love that movie. I'm hoping to get it on the streaming platform soon.
Nice.
You know, so on Boulevard Nights, it was kind of probably the way we've always understood it. Fist on fist. There was one gun at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet, right?
Yeah.
You know, Chuco dies.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Chuco!
But that's how I remember when we saw that movie. We walked out of that, you know, there was a drive-in that I saw that. We're walking out like, oh, yeah, you know, we're cholos, right? And then, but then the movie that changed everything was Colors.
I remember Colors
Came out, and then all of a sudden everybody had Uzi. In the movie, they had Uzis, they had all of these automatics, and all. Everyone had a gun, not just one person.
Yeah.
So now everybody had a gun, and that's what was a major. I think it was Father Boyle from. I was at an event, and I think Father Boyle from Homeboy Industries, he made that observation that when Colors came out, now the neighborhoods think, oh, we have to get automatic weapons.
I still remember the soundtrack, Colors.
Yeah. So and that shows you the power of storytelling, because they put guns in every homie's hand. And not just a handgun. They're not 38 specials. They're putting Uzis.
Yeah.
So that's where everything changed. So now it just opened up this market where now these homies want to fight guns. And then the drug trade came in. Yeah. And then all that. There was always drug trade. They're always selling weed. Yeah. And then the higher levels were selling coke and heroin. Back in the day, it was heroin. But now it's a major industry. So things have evolved into something that's kind of really way out of hand now.
Yeah, and I remember back before cocaine was like big, it wasn't even as bad as far as the criminally as weed. Weed was like super criminalized.
Oh man, there's still people locked up for something.
That's crazy.
They have a dime bag, and they're still locked up right now. Like, whoa, freaking everything's
insane,
legal
man.
now. Yeah,
that's insane.
That to me, when the moment they made it legal, I'm like, okay, open the gates up. All those guys need to come out. But sadly, they probably did other crimes while they're in there. Yeah, and I'm still a big like, okay, let's fix that. They never should have been in there, but. Anyways, so
even as a kid, you were in drama class, so you were still interested in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, that's what was interesting, because the way that happened was, so you know, it was in 7th grade, so 7th to 8th grade, you know, homies don't register for classes, right? You know, you just don't.
You just have like the fold in your back pocket,
exactly.
Maybe a pen on your ear, and you don't even listen.
Yeah, all the white kids are registering, trying to get in the right class and all that. We don't do that, right? So. We show up first day of school at 8th grade. I look at my schedule that they assigned, because I didn't sign up. They give you the basics and then your electives. Yeah. So they assigned me and another homie to drama class.
Oh, okay.
And now,
so you didn't sign up for it?
No. Yeah, I was forced into it. So we're in there. We're in the theater, and it's a bunch of white kids, probably like High School Musical. Yeah. Right. So we're in there, and so the teacher, Mr. Van Houten, he starts going one by one. Okay, what you got to do first day class, I want everyone one at a time to go on stage and just do something. Do a monologue, say a speech, or just say hello, just do something. You just want to see our stage presence, right? Now, at the time, I didn't know what that meant, but now I know. So he's going through one at a time. So my homie that's next to me, his last name was in the A's probably, and so he goes up. And no, he doesn't go up. He says, okay, you're up next. And he goes, oh, no, F that. I'm not going to do that. And he says, no, you got to, no, F you. He's like, all right, you know what? Get out of my class. Get out and don't come back. So he kicked him out. Yeah. I'm still there. So then he keeps going. Then he goes down to Murillo, right? I'm M's. Okay. And he looks at me. Yeah. Are you going to go up, or are you going to follow your friend? Yeah. And I just kind of looked around, all these white kids and all this. And I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, nobody knows I'm here. Yeah. And I was interested. I saw the kids, what they were doing. I knew I could do better. Yeah. So I said,
I'm going to show these fools up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm going up. So I went up, and all I did was just say, hey, what's up? My name's Johnny Murillo. That's all I did. Yeah. I come back down, and Mr. Van Houten comes to me. He goes, hey, you have something. He says, don't quit my class. Stick with me. Yeah. And so because, again, I was raised fatherless, right? Stepdad was gone already. I didn't have any male affirmation at all in my life, except for the homies. Right. Those suckers, I had male affirmation from the older gang members, right? But here now, this, like guy that remind me of Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch, affirms me and just gives me those positive words. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, I'll stick around. Yeah. So I stuck around. Next thing you know, we're in class. No one knows I'm in that class.
Yeah.
My other homie thought I got kicked out too.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he probably left.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, he kicked me out too, right? So it was a secret.
Yeah.
And so then the school play comes around, and he comes up to me. He goes, Johnny, I want you to audition for the lead role. And I'm like, no way, dude. I said, if I get that lead role, you're going to make a poster. My picture's on there. I'm going to get my butt kicked.
Yeah.
And it won't work.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I didn't audition. And when the auditions came out.
Sounds like a movie, bro.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's already, my daughter says, that's my movie. I'm going to write that movie. Right?
It's a good movie, actually.
Oh, yeah. So when the auditions came out, I remember all these white kids are like, oh, let's see who got the roles, right? So they come, they post them on the wall, and all these kids just gather around it. And I'm just like there kicking back like a homie would. You know, your legs out, you're wearing your winos, right? Hey, what's up, you know? And so I go up, and after everybody scatters, right, I just go up and I look, and I knew deep inside I wanted to audition for the lead role, but I didn't.
Yeah.
They gave it to this dude named David Marks. This is how much is ingrained in me because I
remember
his name, bro. So like, David Marks, thinking punk, I'm still going to go after him. So David Marks, I see it, lead role, David Marks, and then I went all the way down. Then I saw my name, Johnny Murillo, third boy. Dang. And I was freaking third boy. And I'm like, third boy, what the heck does that mean? But all of a sudden I realized, man, I'm in this play. And I'm like, how am I supposed to be in this play? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I start freaking out because I'm like, okay, what do I do? But deep inside, dude, I'm like, I was excited. Like, man, I'm in a school play, right? Now you're talking, I was a kid that was raised on the Brady Bunch, right? So, you know, whenever Peter came home or Marcia and they're in the school play, right? So I'm like, wow, I'm in a school play. Yeah. So I did it, but we did 3 weekends, so nights and matinees. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my mom. Nobody, dude.
Wow.
Nobody.
So none of your friends came to see you?
No. Oh, heck no, dude.
You would have got jumped.
Yeah, I would have got jumped, dude. And if I would have just told my mom, she would have told my tia would have told my primos would have told the homies, and they all would have went, and it would have got crazy. So I didn't tell anybody. So I went, I did the matinees, and I would just sneak out. My mom would be all pissed thinking I was out partying. And I didn't tell until like 10 years ago.
Wow.
I'm 56 years old, dude.
No
I told
way.
her, I said, hey, do you know what? And I told her.
It took that long.
Oh, my gosh. She was like, pendejo, you never told me I could have went to
Hey,
them.
bro, just so you know, the homies are downstairs.
Yeah, I know. They're all waiting for
They're all
me.
going to jump you right now and stuff.
They're all in their 60s now, so they can try.
They got arthritis.
I know. But yeah, dude, so I just told her. So that's how it was. But it impacted me because I realized there was something inside that God put in me that was always showing. Now, I had this other journey to do.
Right.
But at the end of it, here I'm back in Hollywood.
You're back in there. Yeah, so you went into the godly,
the ministry.
Godly world.
Yeah. So that was, so here we're like, mom, 5 kids, dude. We had that Chicano life, dude. Even when it came down to curanderos and to all that stuff, right? We had my nana
for people that don't know what a curandero is. How would you explain that to a non-Latino?
Well, there's the good ones and the bad ones. So there's the healers, right? They like to so witchcraft, healing, New Age, right? So my mom, she dove into all that stuff. Okay. Now we start going to Catholic church.
They like crack a little egg on you and
the huevo.
Put some feathers and shit on you, some chicken feathers.
I was on a table and I was naked, and
there's like candles around.
Yeah, dude, the lady did that to me, bro.
Yeah,
and she put a cloth on my face to cover my eyes, and then she had a cloth on my my palantas, right?
Yeah,
and so she's doing a limpia with the yerba buena all around my body, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like 12 years old, dude.
Yeah, you're like, what the?
Oh, she's tickling.
How much shit have I done?
Dude, she's tickling me, bro. And I'm like, oh, your hormones are going crazy.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, so it's terrible, dude. So, and then she spit tequila in my face. It was crazy, dude. So those are the things I went through, right?
Yeah.
And so,
that's funny.
But so all that journey, just my mom trying to figure out how to raise 5 kids in the barrio.
Yeah.
She called out to the Lord. And then they just, witchcraft was going on, all this haunting stuff. It was nuts, but it all worked out. The right people came to the house. They prayed with us. They cast out the devils out of our house, and then we started going to church.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody, doesn't matter where you're from, at the end of the day, you want to live a better life for you and for your kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your mom was trying to do that. She was trying to figure it out any way you can. Dude. And luckily, it sounds like, it ended up going right.
It did. I jumped into church, and that was cool because that's where my, acting, because we started doing church plays and stuff like that. Victory Outreach was doing big plays, so we're watching what they were doing, so we're trying to copy their stuff, you know. So it was good. So then from there, I went to Bible school and just jumped into ministry, you know. And I went to the hardcore Pentecostal style. So like,
wow.
I used to preach against going to movies and
you
know, secular music and threw away my TV like 3 times. But then, now here I am.
Yeah,
you know,
that's crazy.
I don't even do Christian stuff.
You don't do any of the Christian movies?
I haven't done any. No,
there's this one director, producer that I do like his movies. I can't remember what his name is, but he wrote this one movie called Facing the Giants.
Oh, yeah. The brothers, the Sherwood brothers.
Yes. They do Christian movies. Yeah. I really like their movies, you know, and you don't really feel like it, because some of the Christian movies to me are really cheesy, super cheesy, and like, but these ones, like, they're kind of subtle with it. Yeah. But like the message is really empowering.
They changed the paradigm, because it used to be that if you were going to go into Hollywood or into movie making, you got to make it so freaking pure that the only ones that can appreciate would be the choir, right?
Right.
Anything that had any kind of language or any kind of strong subject matter, the church would reject it. The pastors, because, and I understand, I was behind a pulpit, and they want pastors to endorse them. If I endorsed a project that had a cuss word, I would get hit up by my board, and hey man, you know what? It said the A word. I would like, but describing a donkey, you know. So it was it was just hard. But the Sherwood brothers, they came in, they did Facing the Giants. They did that one like super cheap.
Yeah, it was like I think their budget was like super low for that one. But it came out clean.
It came out really good, and that's a great example, because I tell other filmmakers, look, don't wait around for people write scripts thinking they're going to get $10 million for their movie. Yeah. It's not going to happen. Yeah. Get yourself produced. So that's what they did. Then they made Facing the Giant. They made Flywheel. That was the one.
Flywheel. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was the cheap one. Yeah. Then they made the Giants, and then they made
the marriage one.
Yeah, the marriage one. Yeah.
That one was a big production.
Yeah.
Fireproof.
Yeah. That had what's his name in it. From Family Matter guys. What's his name?
I can't remember his name, but I remember
Kirk Cameron. Yeah,
that's right.
So then they started growing. So now they're still in that space, you know. Yeah. I still think that there's a space right now where you could make, and this is stuff I'm going to attempt to, but I know I'm not going to get a lot of churches behind it. But I want to create real stories. You know, it's going to have language in there. Yeah. It's not going to show nudity, but I want to show real stories of real people. Yeah. You know, real life stuff, not just.
Have you seen? It's a podcast, but I don't think they're on any network. It's called The Soft White Underbelly. No. And it's really, really, really simple. It's a guy that interviews, like, he goes to like Skid Row and finds like the heroin addict that's been a heroin addict for like 20 years, or the murderer, you know, that murdered like 3 people and got out after 30 years or something, or like the prostitute, or people that have lived like really, really, really hard lives. And he just asks a couple questions and they just talk. Wow. And it's all black and white, like his style. It's all black and white, but it's like super, super intense. Yeah. And like when you leave, some of these people have really good stories, you know. Oh man. He has like millions and millions of views on YouTube. But I think stories sell, man. People's real stories sell.
Especially in today's audience, like, you know, I was more raised in that sitcom-y time, 80s sitcom and all that, 70s sitcom. And that's all make-believe, and we knew it, so you would escape into it. But today's audience is really big on reality. And not just reality shows, but they want to, almost like voyeurism. They want to see people's lives. They want to.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's what Instagram is. Yeah. That's what social media is. You are looking into someone's life or whatever they want to portray. Yeah, exactly. You know, because obviously nobody's going to put everything out. Yeah. But there's people right now online that get paid so much money for literally doing nothing. They just have a camera on and they're just walking around their house cooking. Yeah. And people just sit there and pay them to do nothing but watch their life. I'm like, that is so weird.
There's that one girl, and I think it started this one Korean girl where she would just sit down, put her camera on, and
eat. Yeah, that's like a
mukbang.
It's like ASMR / dude, it's interesting, bro. There's a market for everything.
Yeah, and I'm like, how do they make money doing that?
And not only do they make money, they make a lot.
Yeah, dude. And I'll eat, but it's not that pretty. Yeah. You know, I don't know what you're looking at, but yeah, it's weird because and I don't know what the feeling is when the audience is watching that. Maybe she's a cute girl, maybe, or I've seen families. There's just one that I've seen too, where this family, they all sit around. It's an Asian family, and they have all their Asian food, and they have their chopsticks. Yeah. So to me, I can't do chopsticks. My hands are too thick and fat. Right? Yeah. But they just go
like just grabbing everything.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, and why do I watch that video over and over again? I don't know, but I do.
Yeah.
So there is something to it, you know.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is either, brother, to tell you, but I'm saying there's a market for everything.
There is. I still like the sitcom type, and I still like long form movies. That's where I gravitate towards. But I do know, like, as a producer, I've produced short form content for like companies like BuzzFeed and Me Too and Better Like were Tasty. So I've done food videos, I've done that kind of stuff. So I know there's that, but I still like to go see a movie and escape and just like, okay, I can shut everything down and just be here. That's where I like to stay at, But again, that's freaking expensive,
Yeah, nowadays it is definitely.
Yeah, someone hires me, But
so how long were you a pastor for?
So 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
23 years in ministry, and that's where.
How old were you when you got what do you get ordained? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So I was ordained in 1992.
1992.
Yeah.
And you had your own church.
So I pastored. I've done a lot of youth ministry, a lot of outreach. And so the last thing I did was I was pastoring, planted a church in Sacramento.
Okay.
And so we just basically started from scratch, started going to the neighborhood and so on.
How do you get money to purchase a church? If
it's like any real estate purchase. It's a building. You go and do a loan, all that kind of stuff. But we didn't have that. We were in we started in a community center.
Oh, okay.
And then we
you would rent it out.
Yeah, we just rent. You rent the community center on Sundays. And then we would rent a school, Sacramento High. We were there for a little while. Then went to a theater. Then we finally got a property, which was it's a big property. It had offices and so on. That was the one that was managing as well.
Yeah.
So I got in there. Then we had our own space there too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then you get money through collections and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's normally. So in the scriptures, there's a very clear, value in it about tithing. So you get 10%.
Yeah, 10%. Yeah.
But I was reaching the hood, so they're like tithing food stamps, and that's when
they're like, hey, you want 10% of my 40?
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, bro. I'd have my old colleagues like I would cruise around my hood, and they'd see some old crazy winos, and I'd pull up and say, hey, what's up? Hey, Pastor Johnny. They got their 40s. Hey, what's up, Pastor? Because I pastored the hood, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't have to come to my church for me to be there for them. So I always walked the hood. I probably knocked on 10,000 houses. And I measured it because I bought 10,000 door hangers. And I made sure my goal was I'm going to be the one that's going to take this.
And you got rid of all of them?
I got all of them, yeah. So, but I'm up and down the neighborhood. So it was South Sac. So if you're from Sacramento, you know South Sac, off of Fruit Ridge and Martin Luther King. So, so all my congregation was the hood. So did we have funding? We still had to pay the bill. So I had like about, out of 300 people, we had about 10 that were actually giving, right? Yeah. And I always did side jobs, so it was me and then about another 9 or 10 others. So
it was you working your personal income,
and then we had another church that was helping us as well in the beginning, So, but when in 2007, the economy was going really good. Everybody's making a lot of equity on their homes,
remember.
Right? I remember that.
And then the bubble burst.
Yeah, right before the bubble burst, I get into this big office space, right? So now,
big lease.
Oh my gosh! So now we go right into that. About 6 months into it, it bursts. And all the main funders that we had, they were into construction, into mortgages and real estate.
And, I'm sure that they went from making all kinds of money to now you making nothing.
My gosh, we went. Our whole income dropped, and then I ended up owing like $40,000 to my landlords.
Jesus Christ!
I worked it off though because I was managing it too.
Yeah.
I brought in some clients to take over our space and other space,
like sublease it.
Yeah. So thank God it came in. Any commissions, because then I rented some other properties for them. So any commission I would have got from that would equal to about $40,000.
Wow.
So I'm like, are we good?
Yeah, we're good. All right,
let's wash it. Yeah. So then we left. So we were able to leave not owing them anything. They were happy, So.
Okay.
But yeah,
that's so that's what you mean by failure.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a big failure because I was like, I was a couple 40, 41, 42 years old.
Yeah.
And you're right. When a man's getting into his 40s and he's thinking he's climbing the ladder or whatever, and then it collapses on him. Yeah. Man, I'm like tapping into midlife crisis. I was like,
everybody, you're going to go through cycles of like, you're doing great. And then like something happens. It's a little tough and you have to like tightened down. That's why it's important to have like, your emergency funds and savings and stuff. But at the same time, it's cool to fail when you're young, but as you get older, it's like, it's not as cool. You don't have as many opportunities. You don't have as much things. So it's good to have, like we were talking, today's age, you have to wear a lot of hats. You have to do a lot of different things. Yeah. But the beauty about today's age, it's the information age. Yeah. So I don't care what you want to do. The information is there. Yeah. You just have to go out and get it. Like we were talking about, like these cameras that are here and the editing, everything. Like I didn't even own a camera a year ago. I didn't know shit. Now. Now I'm like editing. I'm like,
you got clients.
Yeah. So it's about finding people that are doing what you want to do. Yeah. Connecting with them, collaborating, learning. And I think what you are doing now with your platform and your streaming app and everything that you're doing is exactly that. You're cross-pollinating within a specific community, and you're growing the reach and the power, because there's always power in numbers. And I'm really excited to see the growth of your business and your company and your vision and everything you're doing. One, because I'm Latino, and who doesn't want to see another Latino succeed?
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm also going to benefit because we're in the same industry.
We're in
the same space. And working with different people within the same industry, you're all helping each other kind of grow. So I really want to hear the story of how Chicano Hollywood came to be, what the vision of Chicano Hollywood is, and just your experience with it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. So I've been producing, right? So got some feature films and stuff like that I've done, all on the indie side, right? And so right during the pandemic, right when we're barely coming out of it, like 2021, January, a buddy of mine, he gave me a call and said, hey, I have this idea, or some guys have this idea. Can you turn this into a movie, right? So they sent me like one page of ideas. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So I wrote the script out, and it's called Horchata with Oat Milk, right? It's a comedy, right? And it's it's a micro budget movie and all that, but it's really, really fun movie, right? So while we were doing that, I wrote the script out. Then we would have like meetings, like dialogue meetings and so on. Like, because I'm my age. When I say gun, I say cohete, right? And but some of the '90s and the older, they have different terms for them.
Yeah, they're like, what's this mean?
Yeah. So we're having a dialogue meeting, and I have the script projected on the wall, and the director, he's like, we're all there, and he gets up and he's looking at the script. We're just talking, and he's smoking a joint. And then he just does this big puff of smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool picture.
Yeah.
So I get my phone out. I said, bro, do it again. He goes, what? I said, let me see. Give me a big smoke.
Yeah.
And so he does it again. No, one more. So I made him do like 6 or 7 times.
He's like, I'm high as shit.
Yeah. He goes, I can't. Like, one more. So I finally got it, right? And I sent that. My daughter, my youngest daughter, was at Azusa Film School.
Yeah.
And so I texted to her. I said, hey, check this out. I'm with Chicano Hollywood. And I just made it up. Just because the joint, the script, a bunch of homies there, right?
Yeah.
And I just nicknamed them Chicano Hollywood on the fly right there.
Yeah.
And so she said, sends me back the emoji, LOL, that's cool. And then we just kind of laughed. But I nicknamed that whole production Chicano Hollywood. And, there was Chicanos in front of the camera and behind the camera. And they weren't all Mexican-American. They were Guatemalan, Salvadoran, but we're all the culture,
all
Chicano culture, yeah. And so, we shot the movie, and there was a lot of camaraderie, it was a lot of fun. We had, it was good times. Yeah. And so I saw that there was something there. And then the makeup girl, she one of our meetings, she pulls up with hoodies that said Chicano Hollywood. The makeup girl.
Yeah,
okay. So she pulls up with the hoodies, and they say Chicano Hollywood, and they said Horchata with Oat Milk in small letters. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And I thought, there's something here. They gravitated towards it. They appreciated the affirmation.
Yeah.
So right there, that same day, March 11, 2021, I got the socials, I got the domain.
Yeah.
And then I started the trademark process.
Nice.
And so we've been awarded the trademark, and we have the domains, and we just started building. And all I did was just shout people out. And I would just shout them out and just say, hey, shout out to so-and-so. They just did this music video. Shout out to so-and-so. And then it just started growing. So between March 2021 and now, we have a really fun following. It's all primarily organic. I would boost ads because of the events we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But primarily organic.
Just all organic growth.
So we have like on IG, those are what I call the players. So it's about 14,000 where anyone that connects with on IG, they're more in the industry somehow.
Yeah.
On Facebook, that's more what I call the audience. There's like 36,000 there. and they're more the audience that wants content, right? So TikTokers, the kids, we got about 5,000 there, but I haven't. Really, I should put more time in TikTok, but I'm not. That's a hard one for me, you know. So, but we're building it out. So it's been good because I've seen how would get a lot of messages saying, "Bro, we finally have our own platform. We have something. Thank you for starting this." And I would just keep building. So the Chicano community, really, the entertainment community, really rallied around it because they felt affirmed, included, heard. That was a big thing because in Hollywood, you know this too. That's the big loudest voice. No disrespect to anyone, but the big loudest voice is the Latinx voice. Yeah, and the Latinx voice only represents 2 to 3% of the Latino community. No one else.
What is Latinx?
The best way to describe it, because the meetings I've been in and how they describe it, like it's a progressive, left-leaning, feminist type of voice.
Okay, that's very, very small.
Yeah,
within the Latino community.
And then the rest of us are more.
They're all mostly misogynist.
Yeah, just kidding. Pretty much. More world. ¿Qué es eso? So, so the rest of us a bit more traditional in my voice. I'm not Latinx. I don't do that very well at all.
I just recently even heard that phrase being said maybe like 2 months ago, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, what is Latinx?
Yeah, and I don't know if some white people came up with it or what, but they.
It sounds like it came out of some college in Berkeley or some shit.
Berkeley, and then they all gravitate. But and I say I respect whoever connects with that. That's fine. That's your voice. My voice is different.
Yeah.
And then there's the majority of us, especially in the U.S. There's 62 million Latinos.
Yeah.
Out of those 62 million, 40 million are Mexican American, which are Chicano, and then out of those, you can even tack on, I say, another 10 million, which are Guatemalan, Salvadorian, Colombia, that more connect Tejano, right? They connect more with the Chicano voice. So there's like actually our audience that we're trying to serve is 40 to 50 million. So when you try to nail that down to the Latinx, the problem was of the studio system, the loudest voice is the Latinx voice. They're loud, right? Oh, they're loud. They So what happened was the studio system was like, oh, the Latinx, that's what you guys want to be called now? So they start calling everybody Latinx. And I'd be like in meetings like, don't use that term.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh, what are we supposed to do then? I said, not that term. I said, I'm a Chicano. You call me Latino.
Yeah.
I said, but I don't go by Latinx. That's a derogatory term.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, really? Well, we thought, and I just say that to jack them up, right?
That's funny, bro.
That's like calling me the N-word.
I mean, that's offensive.
Yeah.
Don't ever call me Latinx. So I'm gonna start doing that, bro.
Yeah, do that. So, but they, but now
we got our own N-word now.
Yeah, I know. That's it. I would tell people that.
Don't you dare call me that. It's LX.
Like saying, the LX. So, and then they like Latin A or whatever. And I mess with people because I respect them. That's their thing. But
that's
I'm
not my thing.
Like, that's not mine, right? Yeah. It's not ours, and it's not the majority of us. So
I mean, if you talk to, I would even say 100 Latinos, I'll be surprised if one of them says like I connect as a Latin.
2 or 3. The average is 2 to 3%. That's Pew Research. So that means you get 100 in the room, 2 or 3 are going to even know what it means.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah, I'll say Chicano, I'll say Latino, I'll say Mexican. I might even say Hispanic, but I've never even heard of Latinx.
Exactly. That's how, and there's so many of us that got tired of that umbrella. And the hard part with fellow producers is that our stuff was never getting greenlit. We would pitch and pitch and pitch, but then they're greenlighting because of the gatekeepers. They're only greenlighting Latinx kind of content.
Yeah.
But then guess what? 6 episodes in, they cancel it
because they don't have no one's
watching. So then what do they do? Well, let's start a petition. We got to mobilize, we got to support. But dude, I don't want to watch that. It's not my thing. So that was a hard part. But I'm like, you know what? Let's keep building who we are, and let's just control our own destiny.
Yeah, I think that the beauty about what you're doing is like you're saying, well, I'm not going to leave it in your hands. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the end of the day, I think that's going to bring ultimate fulfillment and freedom. Not having to worry about like, oh, they're not picking my thing. Oh, well, then you do your own. Like you said, like we were even talking about what is it, the Sherwin brothers or whatever? They get their super low budget like. They made it to a box office hit after putting in the work.
Just get the work in,
yeah. So I feel like your platform gives the average person an opportunity to showcase their talents.
Exactly.
And not only showcase their talents, but improve upon them. Yeah. Because I don't care what you do, the first time you do is not going to be that great. And little by little, you are supposed to learn and evolve through the journey.
Yes.
You know, so part of that process is you have to show what you do. You know, it's like you have to have a working prototype. Yeah. And every time you show it, it better get better. Yeah. You know, if it's getting worse, then you're not doing your job.
You're not doing it. You're not
serious.
Know,
so like Elon Musk talks about that all the time. Like, you can't just have ideas. You have to have a working prototype. You have to
have something. Exactly.
Something that's tangible.
That's what I tell. Like, you know, I'll have writers say, "Hey, I've got this one." I get hit up with scripts like freaking every day.
I bet, bro.
And I don't read them anymore because then they're like, "Oh, you took my idea." I'm like, it's funny because you know that the TV show This Fool that came out on Hulu, right? Mm-hmm. Had a lot of familia in there and stuff. And when that came out, man, I got hit up like, dude, they took my story. That was my story. I said, bro, we all have a cousin that's coming out of prison. Yeah. They all got locked up in the 90s. Now they're coming out. We all have that same cousin.
It's the same story, bro.
It's the same story. Yeah. So, yeah. They didn't tell. That's all of our stories.
Like, bro, you're a hack.
Yeah, I know. But, like, exactly what you're saying, because I'll have writers come up. I got this one script, and they got helicopters and bombs, and they have, we're going to be in Paris, and we're going to go to Mexico City. I'm like, okay, that's like a $30, $40, $50 million movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And I tell them straight up, I said, no one is going to fund your movie. No one's going to buy your movie. The number one reason is there's no other produced work that you have. Yeah. So write something that can be produced for $25K. Yeah. Write something maybe $50K. Just write the movie. Just the movie Horchata Dough Milk. The reason I took that job several years ago was because I asked my boy Jeff Reyes from Echoes World. He's the producer. I said, bro, is this going to be produced? Yeah. And he said, yeah, I promise. I said, okay, if you promise it's going to be produced, I'm down. Right. You don't even have to pay me. And he still paid me. But because you don't even have to pay me, because I want to be a produced writer. I needed that body of work, right? As a writer, right? And so we did it, and I gladly did it. And because now, when it finally comes out, I think it's coming out this summer, it's going to be, I'll be a produced writer, right? Yeah. So that's the problem, is that a lot of people, they want to write the next Avatar, they want to write the next Top Gun, but you got to start down here, right? Yeah. Be a produce. And, I had this meeting, and it was talking about funding and so on. And the person I was meeting with, she goes, well, she has some good content to put on the platform. She goes, well, if I put these on your platform, some of that stuff that you have on there, you need to either take it off or, let this start growing, elevate what you're putting on there. I said, no, I'll never do that. Yeah. And well, what do you mean though? I mean, that's short films and those, that looks like student filmmakers stuff. I said, exactly. Yeah. I said, if I do what you're telling me to do, that's exactly what Netflix is doing, Hulu's doing. Yeah. They have this elevated, they only take higher production value. I said, I'm trying to be a bridge so that you filmmakers can get their stuff. It's better to say my stuff is on a streaming platform than it's on YouTube. Right. And that elevates them. So just by putting it on a streaming platform, even though we're just starting, they could tell their future investors, they could tell anyone, say, look, my work, go to Chicano Hollywood, and there's my short film. Yeah. So to me, my bar is always going to be low. It's always going to be a genre, which I still have to create, that says new filmmakers. That way, that's where all the short films are going to go on. That's where the little mini documentaries are going to go. Yeah. So that our Chicano filmmakers, Latino filmmakers, they can be like, okay, at least I know if I make this, it's going to make it to at least one streaming platform. Yeah. And it elevates who they are. Of course. So that's our goal, is that we want to just be a bridge. We want to build a platform underneath. Yeah. Not on top, not step on top, but underneath and push everybody up.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. It's and it's the process that I'm talking about. Like we're just talking about one of the fighters that I do digital marketing for. His name's Tony Cortez. He started off in an amateur MMA promotion. Yeah. And he got you got to fight. If you want to be a professional fighter, you got to start somewhere. Yeah. You train, and then you showcase your skills. Let me see you go fight, and then you win. Yep. So the way you win on your platform is views. You get more views, you get more likes, you get better ratings, all of that stuff. Now you have a better resume. Yeah,
exactly. And that's exactly.
And then you can, like you said, it's a place where you can grow. You can showcase your skills. You can evolve, and then boom, explode.
Boom, exactly. I was talking to filmmakers earlier today, and I said, look, we got to get you to the next level. I said, let's create something. And I already got the ideas, and we're going to roll on it. I said, but I'm going to put you guys as the directors. So you got to come in, bring your A game on directing, but it's going to be the first time. And they've done a lot of digital short form, 2 to 3 minute stuff.
Yeah.
And they do some commercial stuff, but they've never done long form, which is your docuseries, movies, TV.
Right.
So I said, let's get you on this. I said, well, I'll be there. We'll start. I'll walk you with you on it, and then, but you guys get the credit as directors.
Right.
That's going to build a resume. I have another docuseries that I'm doing. And on that one, it's with Homeboy Industries. It's called Joking G's. It's about, some of these kids that are caught up, and now we're training them how to become stand-up comedians, right?
Oh, okay.
It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
Their comedy is all based on their trauma.
Yeah.
It's
the best kind of comedy.
Oh, man. They're talking about blood and all this and gangbanging, and we're laughing. So it's hilarious, right?
Yeah.
So, but that one, I'm the quote unquote producer over it, so I'm putting the story together and all that. But I've got two of my other crew that I'm like, okay, you guys, I want you overseeing this part and that part, because you're going to be able to get director's credit.
Right.
So this builds their resume.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm working, because I know that you have to get a body of work that's produced,
right?
Not a body of ideas.
Yeah,
exactly. That don't mean nothing. Jack, man, that means nothing. But you get a body of work,
right?
Then once they see your work, then they're like, hey, we want to hire you to do this, and then we want to invest in you to do that. So there's a process that we're trying to build.
Yeah, there's one thing as well that I've noticed about most successful people is that they have something, and from the beginning, before they mastered their skill or their craft, they have a spark. They have something in them that people that know talent can spot it right away. It's like raw talent. And sometimes you put, like, let's say it's a really, really someone that's going to be an amazing producer or director. Like, I'm talking about Steven Spielberg status. When Steven Spielberg was a young kid and was barely starting, he still was Steven Spielberg. He just hadn't evolved to the point where he's at now.
Yeah, he was a student at UCLA.
He was just as brilliant. He was just as, everything that he is now, he was, but it was just a beta version of it.
Yeah.
But someone that knows the industry and knows that the first type of work that he puts out there, like, it's not perfect. No. It could work. It could improve a million times, but there's something there.
Yeah.
There's something there.
They were able to tell a story.
Exactly. The next time he goes, to pitch an idea, like you said, he has a body of work, something that someone can look at. Yeah. Like, this looks amateur, but there's something there. I'm going to give this guy a fucking chance.
That's exactly it.
I'm going to give him a chance.
Exactly it.
And guess what? I'm going to give you not only a chance, I'm going to give you some better gear, and I'm going to give you more money so you can make it better.
And I'm going to invest in you, and that's how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. They get these crazy ideas. Like, when an investor comes in, they want to get behind your movie. They're not going to write you a check and say, here, I'll see you in 2 years. Even for them to get some kind of ROI, it's going to take 18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
So you got to tell them, hey, you're not going to see this for a while, right? Mm-hmm. So they got to really be sold on what you're going to do if they're going to give you that much money. And then what they do is if they're smart, they're going to put in an escrow account, and then you're going to set up some milestones, and you're going to have to do drawdowns. That's how it normally works. Or if they're really smart, they're going to get you bonded, and then you're working with a bonding company, which is very stressful, because that bonding company is responsible for that money now. And then they're looking on you saying, you got to make these dailies. I got to see what you're doing. Show us some progress, because if you don't, we're going to fire you and bring in someone else.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
So they'll put your money away, and they'll say, if in 2 weeks you don't have this much shot, you're fired.
You're fired. You're gone. Yeah. And
it's not if you finish it, then they'll pay you a little bit.
It's not even 2 weeks. It's like, let me see what you're doing every day. So every day you got to send in your dailies.
Yeah.
So they compared, like, okay, you're on.
Now I see why directors are stressed.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
They're like, get this shit done now.
Yeah. So when you're so it's a holding box. So I'm never in a hurry to work with a bonding company. But we will eventually. Yeah. But that's how the process works. So the idea that people come up like, well, if someone just give me like $1 million, like, no, it's going to give you $1 million.
Yeah.
They're what they'll do is create the body of work where you're worth investing into, because they want to get their money back. So there's a whole process. A lot, like we're talking about Spielberg, right? I think he went to UCLA, and those Lucas and all those guys went to USC, or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
And I don't trip on, like, the white people and the colonizers. I don't trip on all that stuff at all. It's like, whatever. I mean, the world's the world.
Yeah.
But I do recognize that in our community, because of where we've come from, we did not have the same environments to put us in these positions.
Yeah.
And the main reason why, you look at the Spielbergs, you look at the Lucases, you look at all those big names, the Scorseses, right? Okay, their families have been in this country for a century, probably. Yeah. They migrated during the European migration, right? My family, my grandfather got here in the 40s.
Yeah,
right.
First generation too.
Yeah, yeah. So in the 40s, right? And then my mom was born here. She was born in Calexico, and she barely made it across. My grandma felt she was a Mexican.
She's like, oh, we got to go now.
My grandma went across, right? So, so my generation, as a kid, I see my grandfather in the fields in San Jose. He was a foreman.
Yeah.
I see my mom in the canneries.
Right.
There's no way they understood Hollywood. There's no way they had the environment was not there. At 16 years old, my grandma said, "What are you doing in school? Get out on the cannery." Right.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that. But where am I at now? So now I'm got my college degree, right? I told my kids, I created the environment. They're all graduated college. My son's got his master's in divinity and so on. Yeah. My middle daughter, she's in the music industry with her husband. Her husband just won an Emmy. What do they get? Grammy.
Yeah.
Right. So they're in the music. He's a great producer. He produces a lot of the big names, right? All the big names. My son-in-law is what's involved in all those names, right? And then my daughter graduated. So I am fostering with my generation, my kids, an environment that they can do whatever they want to do. They know it, right?
Yeah.
My grandkids are going to be that way. So now I'm in Hollywood. I'm doing stuff that my family doesn't even understand yet.
Yeah.
It's because we've evolved. So
right.
A lot of people that say that, they had it made, the white people had it made. Like, no, they've just been here longer.
Yeah.
We're here now. Guess what the future is? The future is us.
Yeah.
And right now, I tell people,
you can feel it.
Yeah, it's going to grow. We are in the beginning of a Chicano Renaissance.
Yeah, I just had Concrete on a couple weeks ago, and I told them the exact same thing. I even said it to your correspondent for Chicano. What's her name? I'm trying to give her a shout out. Rodriguez, her last name, just like mine. Your news correspondent.
Oh, yeah, Luisa.
Yeah, I even told Luisa too.
Yeah.
Chicano comedy is blowing up. We're getting all kinds of Latinos on Netflix and HBO specials. Yeah. We have directors, producers,
podcasters.
I mean,
you got to think about it. You're the new media. Yeah. Who trusts the media anymore? Who trusts CNN, MSNBC, Fox? I don't trust none of them.
Yeah, nobody trusts them.
I look at my news at Instagram and podcasters. That's where I get my news from, right?
That's crazy.
So to me, it's like and then I follow the Chicano Latino one. So we are in the beginning of a Chicano Renaissance. And the Renaissance age, if you go back in history, it was a whole new evolution of new things, from art to business and so on. Right. So businesses. So I tell people, right now, your skin color and your last name are your biggest asset. Yeah. You need to run with that. I'm Chicano, I'm Latino, I'm full-blown, I'm proud of it, and you run. If you're smart enough, you're going to dig deep. A lot of people are afraid of AI. I'm diving deep into AI because I want to make sure I'm going to be on the cutting edge of it. So some people want to say, well, I don't know about that stuff.
Yeah.
And, I don't know the computers.
It's technology. If you don't evolve with it, it'll leave you behind.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly.
Very quick.
Like imagine, if you're still recording like black and white and shit, and you're like, I don't want to do digital,
Yeah. Oh, dude.
or whatever it is.
How many people they barely do email as much, although they text, but they're not into the web at all. Now what we've always known as the World Wide Web is becoming obsolete. So,
really?
Because AI is jumping in.
Oh, yeah.
Google is becoming obsolete.
Yeah.
You can do your search. I get on ChatGPT all the time, and I'm like, it's so much quicker for me, right? So, we are the future, so we have to be on the cutting edge of it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to stop when it comes to everybody take the mark of the beast and you can't buy yourself. Yeah. That's okay, I'm done. I'm
You're
out.
not going to get the microchip?
Yeah. I'm not doing none of that junk, So, but from now, I'm going to try to just build as much as I can, make money off it, build the finances, build this financial ecosystem, and help other people out because that's what we do. But the moment they get to that junk, I'm out. I don't know.
A barcode on your neck?
Yeah. All that stuff. I was like, nope, I'm done.
That's cool,
chop my head off or whatever you want to do. Yeah.
So tell us exactly what the Chicano Hollywood streaming app is, who it's for and where people can find it.
Yes, I would love to. So it started because when we first started the movement, we had we had a mixer December 1st or December 3rd and at the end of 2021. But when we were having that mixer, I knew that the biggest problem that we had was that no one was green lighting us, and we had to green light ourselves. And we'd go to investors, and the biggest question when you say, "Hey, I want to make money for this movie," they say, "Well, how am I going to get my money back? Where's it going to come from? Or what's your plan for it?" all we could say was, well, we're going to make this movie and then we're going to try to run it through film festivals. Hopefully it gets accepted. Yeah. And while people see it, hopefully someone will come up to us and say, hey, we want to, distribute that for you, right? And then we get hopefully an MG, which I told you is it's called a minimum guarantee. So that means I make a movie for, let's say, $500,000. I get it up there. Everybody likes it. A platform distributor will come up to me and say, hey, I like your movie. I'm going to give you a guarantee of, $150,000, and then I'm going to exploit it out. I'll get my $150,000 back, and then we'll share revenues, right? That's it. Yeah. But a lot of people get ripped off that way. But
really,
that was the old way, right? That was the old way.
No, that was right. You're saying that's the
nowadays it does. No one does MGs. Tom Cruise doesn't get MGs. I mean, it's really tough, So what you're doing now is you're creating content. You put it on streaming platforms. You're sharing ad revenue. Or if it's a, like you could do pay-per-view. I have an option. Like I got Cholo Zombies on there with pay-per-view, right? So
some of the content or the films or whatever down there, you can watch it for free, and others are paid.
The Cholo Zombies pay-per-view. Everything else you watch it with ads, or if you don't like the ads, then you could subscribe for $5.99 a month. Okay. Yeah, I love people to subscribe because it helps us out.
Yeah, you know what? I freaking hate commercials.
Oh yeah,
I subscribe to everything.
Oh nice, yeah. So you're everybody's favorite customer.
I got the YouTube, I got the Netflix, the Hulu, just because I don't want to pay for ads.
Yeah.
So the Spotify, whatever, any type of app that's on my phone, like I subscribe to that shit because I hate
Hollywood streamers love you.
Yeah, I'm the best client when it comes to any type of streaming service.
But that was the problem is that my colleagues that were producing stuff, we have ideas, we had nowhere to go because we're trying to think, well, all we could do is tell our investors that we're going to hopefully run it through festivals. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, we have to create our own platform. So I'm like, what does it take to build a Netflix? What does it take to build a Hulu? So I started doing some research. Yeah. I hired a company. I had a partner come in. Mm-hmm. We put some money together into it. We invested into it, and we built it out. So
that's awesome.
It was created so that our filmmakers had a place to leverage. Yeah. And at our holiday mixer that we had, I gathered everybody together and I made a little mock screen of it and I had it rolling. And I said, look, and I put all the old school movies like American Me and all that. Yeah. I don't have those on there, but I will one day, you know, all those old, Boulevard Nights, all that stuff. Yeah. But I said, look, this is so that we can leverage with our investors and say, look, now I do have distribution on a streaming platform. Yeah. So I have that there. I also have an account with a company called Film Hub where we're going to put our stuff up on there and then they put it out to the Tubies and all that. Right. And also I'm a buyer on Vueler, which is VUULR, which they are a platform that buyers from all over the world come and look for content. Oh, wow. So we're creating these relationships so that the content that we create or anything that we bring in or any of our filmmakers.
Has different sources.
Yeah, they know how to, I tell people all the time, look, okay, make your movie, but, send them the link. Get on Vueler, make an account, get it up there. Yeah. So the idea is to get our people up and growing. And a lot of them, they don't know what to do. All they know is like, I just want to make this movie. Yeah. But they don't know what to do with it. Yeah. So I'm trying to, our mission is to try to really build them all up, educate people. Yeah. There's going to be a point where we're going to build people up to where, and I tell this like the Ortega brothers, right? Good friends of mine. I love these guys. I said, guys, you guys have such a cool heart and a good eye. Yeah. I said, I know that as we grow and build together and create together, one day Amazon Studios or Netflix or someone's going to knock on your door and say, hey, we see what you're doing there. We want you to do with us now and put you under an exclusive contract. Yeah. And they were like, nah, man, no, we're down, bro. I said, yeah, whatever, bro. They're going to offer you more money.
Wait till the check is slid across the table.
I said, but.
Or the napkin that they write a number on.
Exactly. That's what that.
You'll be like,
how many zeros?
Sorry, Johnny.
So exactly. Dude. I said, I want you to take it because there's going to be a time where I'm going to look to you and say, hey, I need some work.
Yeah, so it's a collaboration.
Yeah, and I think I salute Hulu because they're really growing in the Chicano space right now with This Fool. And then they're the ones that are launching out the Hot Cheetos movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they're like big. They're down. So I like Hulu right now because they're in. But some of the others are going to catch up.
They will.
We're building like right now. I'm in production on 2 docuseries, and then we also have a talk show. Right, the talk show. It's called the Calypso Show. It's going to be similar to like Drew Barrymore. She has her talk show.
Oh, I didn't even know she had a talk show.
Yeah, it's a really cute show. Right, she just really gets deep. So I have Calypso Aragon.
Who's the host?
Calypso Aragon.
Calypso Aragon.
I always say her last name wrong. If you're hearing this, I'm sorry, but yeah. So, but
Aragon.
Yeah, sometimes. So Calypso, she used to produce for Ryan Seacrest and all that. She's a really great host. So
That's awesome.
She's gonna be her show, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot it. We're gonna shoot it at Hello Stranger, which is a venue, a bar venue, and Little Tokyo.
Yeah.
Hello Stranger's all choloed out, all ordered out. It's really cool. Angela, shout out to Angela because it's a great place. Yeah. So we're gonna shoot in her back room. And for the week of June 5th through the 9th, we're going to shoot 8 episodes. Yeah. Right? Just stack them up. Concrete's one of our guests.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's freaking awesome.
So we're bringing in
Oh, yeah. You know what? I saw a couple of little mini clips that he posted with her or something like that.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Or a picture or something.
Yeah. So we're just bringing in, the homies. We're bringing in the family. Like, hey, can you be on the show?
Yeah.
And the whole idea is we're going to create a talk show. We're going to create a docuseries based on the Garcia family, which is Christian Garcia. He's a little guy. Mm-hmm. And he's married to Jen, who's a normal-sized lady.
Oh, he's a little person.
Yeah, he's a little person.
Okay.
And then they have 2 little person babies.
Oh, okay.
So they're super cute.
Yeah.
Great family. Christian's like a freaking...
Is he an actor?
Oh, no, he's an influencer.
Oh, okay.
So they have like 3 or 4 million followers.
Oh, wow.
Right? So they're really big. And so we're going to produce with him this reality show based on their life. We're going to do that in June.
Yeah.
That show, we're going to put it on our streaming platform. Then we're going to get it out to everybody else, right?
Yeah.
The Joking G's one with the gang members becoming comedians.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish that one up. We're already halfway through that one. Nice. Put that on our streaming platform and then get out to everybody else. And then we have a couple other things that we're putting together. So we're doing that, and I'm really going deep into our originals because I know that we control that. The narrative.
Yeah.
If I were to submit those ideas, and this is the other thing, filmmakers have this antiquated idea that. Yeah. And I've been told this. Why don't you just make a sizzle or just make a pilot and then try to sell it? And I said, no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Every studio has their own creative team now. And they would rather just work with themselves than go outside of it because it's legally easier for them. I said, I'm the same way, So I tell them, I said, get that idea out of your mind. The best thing to do is make a whole series, make 8 episodes of 22 minutes. We'll stick it on our streaming platform, and then we'll get it out to everybody else. And then you use that data. Mm-hmm. That data, then you take that data and you give that to your sales team. Yeah. Then they go to Hulu's, they go to Netflix.
And they sell.
Then they say, look, we have a worldwide audience watching this. Yeah. That's when they come and say, oh, we want that show. Yeah. We're going to give you a lot more money, and then you're at a different level, you know? So I'm totally cool. We're not the Yankees yet, but I'm cool being what's the minor league before the Yankees or the Dodgers? We're not Dodgers, but we're right below,
I'm trying to think of a minor league.
Minor league team, yeah. My brother's a chaplain for one of those teams, and whoever the minor league is for the Dodgers, and it's based out of Utah. My brother's a chaplain for them.
There you go.
Well, whoever they are, I have no idea. But anyway, so that's my point. So I'm totally cool with just being that catalyst, and that's what we want to do because it's about building people. I'm not here but to hurt people and lock them into contracts. Right. I'll have people that give me movies like, "Is it exclusive?" I said, "Oh no, heck no, bro. Go make your money." Yeah. I said, "Better go make your money first, and then come back to me.
Bring me some of it."
Yeah, bring me some. Yeah. So, but we're all about building people and getting them out. I guess I've been along long enough, and I've lost a lot. Houses, I've lost businesses. I've lost enough to know that I'm okay with losing. Yeah. And that's the only way I'm going to win. Yeah. So that's the story of Chicano Hollywood.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah. There's a universal law, a law of giving. Yes. There's a law of receiving as well. But it's what goes up must come down. You must give before you receive. You must you reap what you sow. If you didn't sow, you're not going to reap anything.
Yeah, the Bible's real clear. Whatever a man sows, he's going to reap.
Exactly.
And then they talk about karma. It's basic universal law.
It's a karmic debt exists. If you've been doing a bunch of bad shit, eventually he's going to catch up to you. But guess what? If you do a bunch of good shit, eventually he's going to catch up to you too. So I'm in the same. I won't call it a lane. I'll call it a freaking a railroad track because I'm not going to get derailed, We're in the same lane, same railroad track where I'm giving and giving and giving as much as I can in any skill that, God bestowed upon me, whether it's film or acting or music or speaking or telling other stories or giving insight and wisdom that might help someone out there, you know, because the story that you share, you're essentially leaving a legacy, you know, for your family. Like you said, your mom and your dad and your grandparents, you know, they didn't know anything about Hollywood. They didn't know anything about the entertainment industry, but now your daughter works with you, right?
Yeah.
You were saying she's a part of the music side of your business, and all of your kids are college graduates, and you're leaving behind a legacy, you know, and I think any man, at the end of the day, that's how we create. You know, we can't make our own children in our stomach, but the way that we create is through our art form.
Yes.
You know, I don't care what you do. Birds sing. You know, astronauts go to space, and, you know, filmmakers produce films, and whatever you do, it brings you peace and it brings you fulfillment when you do that one thing that you're good at and that you have a passion in. And I can tell that what you're doing is something that you're passionate about. And I definitely want to support Chicano Hollywood and support everything you're doing. So for all of our watchers out there, make sure you go on Chicano Hollywood. You can go on their Instagram. Just type in Chicano Hollywood. They'll pop up.
Facebook,
TikTok. Do you guys have a YouTube?
We do. I'm building it. No judgment yet.
Don't judge it.
Building it. Yeah,
but make sure you follow. So follow
YouTube,
all the platforms, but more importantly, download the app and start taking a look at some of the content on there.
Go take a look at all of the content on there.
Look at all of the content. And if you're an aspiring producer, filmmaker, actor, director, videographer, cinematographer, a lighting guy, whatever you are, you know, go after what you want to do.
You have to. You have to. If you don't chase your dream, no one's going to bring it to you.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. And too many of our community just sat back. I feel bad for the men that are my age, and I really try to help them out too. But for whatever reason, they were pushed into the warehouse. Yeah. They were pushed into construction. I did construction too. I had my own company, all that. But they got stuck there. Now they're coming out. Now they're retiring. They're at the end. But they still have something inside. And they still want to do something. So like we have our Chicano Hollywood master classes. If you go to our website, ChicanoHollywood.com, look at the top, you'll see master classes. Just sign up there. You can learn, right? Those are created to be, you know, Chicanos, they're created for that young homie that's in the barrio in Houston or in San Diego or Denver, because they were like I was. They had no one telling them what to do. Yeah. And the idea of it's always like, well, that's a white man's world, right? Yeah. So we created these master classes, and you know, I'm going to upload another one, and we're going to continue to make them so that people, our family, our community can see their own faces doing this stuff. I got Fabian Alomar, right? He was a former gang member in Echo Park, and he tells his journey from being a gang member to being an actor on the Hot Cheetos movie. Right?
That's awesome.
I have Jeff Reyes, who was again raised in Pacoima, raised in the hood, went to a military. You know, he was a combat veteran in Iraq and so on. Now he's one of the best indie producers here in Hollywood, right? Yeah. And I have other people. I have Paulo, and he was the immigrant that migrated from South America to Miami over here now. Now he is the hairdresser to like J-Lo and Rosalind Sanchez, all those big people, right? So he does all of them. So he does a masterclass on doing hair, right?
That's awesome.
There's others. What's her name? Patricia. She was the wife on Mayans to Emilio Rivera's. So Patricia de Leon, that was his wife. So she was big actor. She just did the Terminal List with Chris Pratt. Wow. Right. So she tells her story. Everyone has to tell their story. Yeah. Then they teach.
Then they teach their skill.
And that's all designed so that our kids, our gente, our whatever age.
And this is all free?
Oh, no. There is a fee to it.
Oh, okay.
I got to pay for
Of
all
course.
7. Come on,
I was going to say, like, damn, bro, I know you gave a lot, but.
yeah, I wish, But
hey, I know the expenses that go behind all of these ventures, and I mean, it's a pretty penny. So at the end of the day, we all have to make a living,
Yeah, and the biggest thing for me, too, is I put a lot of money into them because I didn't want to just bring these people in and do it for free. Yeah. So I pay these people. They put time into doing, so I made sure I paid them. Yeah. And so we do have a fee. It's like $90-some, but they get all the classes for a whole year. Wow. And then we're going to keep adding more. The goal, there's about 21 there now. The goal is to get to 500. Yeah. And I want people just to learn. And we're going to grow from production to business to other art forms as well. So but the idea is that our people need to see ourselves doing it. So it's a from us to us. And from there, after they get that initial bridge across, and I'm like, okay, I'm here now. Then they can learn from Spielberg. I can learn from Spielberg. I can learn from Lucas. I can learn from Oprah. But the ones that don't have that fostering environment, they don't know what to do. So we're like, hey, look, here we are. So that's what the mission behind that is. You know?
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Guys, make sure you check out the website, check out all the content on there. Brother, I want to thank you again for sharing your story, sharing your insight coming out today. Is there any final words you want to leave before we finish up?
Yeah, well, just follow us. Go to your app store. On all the major app stores, you can go and download our app. Just put Chicano Hollywood on Android or iOS or Roku or Fire Stick, all that. Follow us. Tell your family about us. Our numbers have to grow.
That's right.
So the more numbers we have, the better we'll be able to leverage and create a financial film fund. Yeah. And then we can do more. People always say, we need more content with us. Like, okay, well, we need money. Yeah. So we're creating the system to make it work for everybody. So follow us, get behind us.
Awesome.
If this is your passion or whatever your passion is, just do it. Just get involved. If you sit back and wait and you just watch, you're gonna hate life.
That's right.
To me, I'm so risky. It's ridiculous. I've had big construction businesses and I've lost it all. I've had homes and I've lost it all. So the number one thing I've given myself is the permission to fail.
There you go.
And because I gave myself permission to fail, I have no problem risking. I'll risk everything. And for Chicano Hollywood, I risked a lot. We put a lot into this already. Yeah. But it's paying off. It's paying off. When I get phone calls from producers, actors, it's exciting. I love it. Even from clients. Today we picked up 2 clients, and they're really, $250,000 to $500,000 clients. That my partner were like, oh my gosh, really? All right, yeah. Tell them yes. Yeah, and they're just contracts for us to produce some content for them because that's what we do. But thank God we're getting to that point now that we're launching our agency. So if you're a brand or a commercial, you want some, we've done a lot of work for other people, right? And they've made the lion's share. So now we're launching our agency. So we'll get the brands coming in. We've had 2 big brands that hit us up if we could do content for them. And we're awesome. Yes, we'll do it. That's awesome. What that does for us, we're able to bring on more people, put more food on people's tables, and then create our own content. Yeah, so now you can hire people that are working with Chicano Hollywood. You're like, I have a huge, you can't do everything yourself. Eventually you need to start bringing other people. So totally. That's awesome. Yeah, that was our big meeting today. Like, we can't do this on our own. We would have tried, but it would have killed us. Same here. Yeah. But now we're like, no, let's get some of these young guys in, or not just young guys, but let's get these people in that they got the skills. Yeah. And let's get them off of Lyft. Let's get them off of Uber. We've done that. Yeah. So, brother. So get behind us, follow us, support us, and just by watching, that's all you got to do. We are going to launch soon a WeFunder, which is giving people opportunity to invest. Okay. And so just follow us, and we're dealing with it now. Yeah. Guys, follow the Instagram. Stay tuned for everything that's to come for Chicano Hollywood. Make sure to subscribe to the Dreams to Reality podcast on YouTube and our Instagram, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.